All right, welcome everybody. It is now 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock for me, 2 a.m. for Brigitte. So wherever you are in the world, welcome, and we're glad that you're here. Mute everyone quickly. I've got a little bit of background that I'm hearing. If you're not muted, can you just check your mics? Okay, I think that's good. Well, I hope you guys had a great action block today. I was getting my hair cut during it, so I've got like 6 inches gone. And everyone's like, it looks like you dyed it. No, that's the Arizona sun. It has like turned it blonde. So I'm like outside too much. But Alyssa shared and was talking about the topic that we wanted to discuss tonight, which was, who is your ideal team? And how can we start attracting the people that we really, really, really want to work with? This hit me like 3 weeks ago. And then Alyssa and I had the conversation about it with her business like 2 nights ago. And then I was having the conversation with Jackie like yesterday. And I think everybody really could use this. And my mom and I got talking and we went, okay, yes. So let me share with you a little mindset around this. I guess I'll share like my mindset. Up to this point in my business, I have just been like, oh, the right people will come, right? The right people that are meant to work with me, they'll come. And so whoever they are, I'm not going to prejudge, right? They'll show up. And then I started working with a woman who was saying, Danielle, like, well, what is your goal? And is it crystal clear? And like, who are the people that you're looking to work with? Because what you are seeking is seeking you. And everything's energy. And she gave me this visual that I'm going to share with you. It might make sense to some of you. It might not make any sense to some of you. But can you see a whiteboard? Can I get some thumbs up? Yes, Cicely, thanks. The way she described it, she gave me 2 visuals. So she said, like, if you think of yourself as like a little person, all right, this is our body. It's really hard to draw on this. And our mind is like, we have 2 sections of our mind, right? We have our conscious mind and we have our subconscious. Probably none of this is news to any of us, right? And then you've got, your body. Okay. And there is energy, flowing into us. I call it source. Some people call it the universe. Some people call it God, whatever. There's energy flowing to and through us all the time. It's just what we are. We're all energy. Everything's energy. It's just how condensed it is, right? And so that energy flows into us and our body puts it certain ways. And I remember one time I was listening to a gentleman, his name was Gurudev, and he said, a lot of times we burn our life force, our life energy in our conscious mind because it's just in all these thoughts. And so it doesn't even get a chance to really flow into our bodies, but that's a separate story. So we have this ideas in our conscious mind and things that happen that we bring in from our senses, and they start informing our subconscious. Okay. And so we get images of ourselves in our subconscious. We have good and bad, like paradigms, like things that are positive and things that are also negative. But these things in our subconscious are what send the energy to our body. And our bodies, we're vibrating, we're operating at a certain frequency, and that creates the results that we see in our world. Okay. So we're going to come back to this image, but if you think of everything as energy, all right, everything's connected through frequency, right? It's just, whatever frequency it's at. So if we're operating here, we're getting X results and we're connecting with people at that level. And when she said this to me, I had like literally all my leaders came to my mind, and I started thinking, wow, the people that they're attracting, how interesting, how similar things are with certain people, right, that they've attracted in. And each of my leaders, it's different things they've attracted because it's their own self-image, it's their own stuff they have going on, it's the level that they're operating at. They're bringing in people that are operating at that same level. So if we want to bring in a certain type of person that maybe is up here, right, we have the image of just, some rock star that's got a great self-image, highly influential, whatever it is. They're operating on a different frequency. We're not talking at their level. We're not thinking at their level. We're not operating at their level. So what we need to do is shift where we're operating from. And the way that we do that, the way we shift that is through this whole process. So we get an idea in our mind. Who is it that I want to work with? Who is it that I'm looking to attract to my business? I get excited about it. We visualize it. That emotion starts to put it into our subconscious. Okay. I'm so sorry. This is such terrible drawing, but y'all just stay with me. So that gets pushed into our subconscious. Okay. And then our subconscious starts making us, we start speaking differently, acting differently, holding ourselves differently. Like when we have a different image, we carry ourselves differently, right? And at first it can feel like there's a little friction, like, and you might pick up a little anxiety in your body because part of you is like, who am I to talk like this? That's not me. And then there's another part of you that's like, no, that's the true you, like, let it shine, right? We have this conflict. But once we can start shifting it, and keep coming to this image that we have, all of a sudden, boom, our results look different because we're operating up at this frequency now. And we can start attracting in and talking to those people, right? Those things are going to start coming in. And so I wanted to share that with you because I just thought it was a really powerful image for thinking through who we're trying to attract, right? I had a mentor tell me one time, Danielle, to attract attractive people, you have to be attractive. And Terry Lathan says all the time, diamond is a mindset. And I never got it until this lady shared these images with me and showing me, like, it's a mindset, literally. You need to switch in your mind, who are you and what can you attract? You have to hold yourself as a diamond, right? Or else you're not going to attract people that operate or think at that level. All right. So a lot of us, I mean, me included, right? I talk to a lot of sick people, right? That's how I started my business. But like, they're not the leaders I'm looking for. So I had to really get quiet and think, who is it that I would be energized to work with? Who is it that I'm going to want to get on a Zoom call with and just hang out? Like, be best friends with, right? Because we spend so much time together. You want to attract people that feed you, that feed your energy, that make you better, right? That are not projects, right? You want partners, not projects. And so it starts though with you getting clear on that. And so Alyssa had some really nice steps that, like, she and I sort of walk through with her that she's going to help you guys walk through so you can start to get clear on that. So Alyssa, I'm going to bounce it over to you.
Yeah. So, this was really, really helpful for me. I've actually done it, and I would encourage each of you to do it about once a year. Like, do this activity once a year, because who you are changes. And I had not done this activity in a while. I probably had done it. It's probably been, gosh, maybe like 2 years actually. It was the last time that I really got crystal clear on the kind of person that I was trying to build my network with. And then it wasn't until Danielle brought it up to me just a couple of days ago, and she was like, well, are you, and I said, you know, this whole voice memo thing, my newest one just really isn't getting a lot of traction. And she said, well, have you written down the kind of person that you're wanting to work with? And I said, you know, I really haven't done that in a while. And I'll tell you guys, I decided, I took time. It takes time, right? It takes time out of your life to write these things down. You don't think you have the time for it, but what you focus on expands. Have you ever heard that? And has anyone ever felt like when you're in ASEA, you are more of a therapist rather than a team leader? Anyone feel like that? Right? So here's the thing. It's important to be able to really focus and hone in on, you know what? I want to have a business where I feel energized leaving the conversations with these people, right? Rather than, oh my gosh, why didn't they pay me for that like hour of my life that I just spent where they told me all of their life's woes, right? And the honest truth is, if you reflect on the kind of people that you've been working with and wanting to work with, I think all of us have a very great intention of wanting to help people, wanting to help introduce this to people because they don't know about it. But what we get lost in is that ends up being you're someone's therapist because you're wanting to help sick people, right? And I think at the end of the day, what our real purpose is really stepping into the kind of person that we know that we can be, who has all of these life experiences that then can help other people and say, and, you know, reach out a hand and say, hey, grab my hand. I've been there. Let's walk this journey together, right? But you feel elevated and energized as you're walking that journey with other people. So number one, you guys all get a pen and paper out, write it down on your phone. We are doing some writing right now, because if we do not do it right now, then chances are it probably won't happen, right? Okay, so number one, I want you to write down the kind of person that you would feel energized to work with. You are excited to talk to them. You're excited to coach them. You're excited, like you, every time you get, you can think of a couple of people where you get off the phone with them and you feel your energy higher than when you got on the phone. Write down what that person is like. What kind of attributes do they have? What is, and get as specific as you can. What is their age? Do they live in a specific area? Do they have kids? Do they have animals? What do they like to do for their hobbies? What are their hobbies and interests? What are the kind of books that they are reading? That kind of thing. So take just a couple of minutes really quick and write down some of those attributes of the person that you would love to work with. All right, so was that the first time for a lot of you guys that you actually like had the opportunity to write down the kind of people that you would actually want to work with? Was it kind of fun writing down some of the things that are about them? Yeah, like do you feel like that, like, oh my gosh, like that's the kind of person I could work with? So now I want you guys to reflect and on that list of all of those traits, do you see a lot of those traits that are actually you? Who you are? Yeah, yeah. So that's why, I don't know if you've heard Danielle and I say a couple of times, you really are trying to just attract you. Because what is unique about you is your life experience, all the things that you've been through, your specific interests. And so really that's what's unique about you. And so what I want you to do is, we're going to take just like 2 more minutes. And what I want you to do is write down what is unique about you that made you choose ASEA. So why is it that you were interested in taking a look at ASEA? What are some of your life experiences that you've had, right? That led you to choosing ASEA? Were you working part-time and you were looking for some kind of purpose, right? Fulfillment, maybe, or you think about someone who is working full-time, wants time freedom to spend with their family, right? Or it's someone who is retired, wants just to be able to connect with some other people who are like-minded, who want to uplift and elevate each other, right? So get a little bit more specific for me. Take just another minute to write down some of those things. Buffy, I have to mention your chat there. She said that she had a funny autocorrect where she typed generous and it autocorrected to genius. So, I mean, hey, that might have been meant for you. Autocorrect might have known better than you did right now. That's awesome. Okay, guys, I want, will you guys unmute yourselves? I would love to hear a couple of these things that kind of came up for you as you were writing down that list. I saw you all writing down, so I know you're writing down something. We'd love to hear them.
I'm going to go first because it made me cry. One of them was the energy that I get from talking to people because I'm a talker. But if I really look at it, I'm doing it because you said I could do it and you believed in me and I believed in what you said about me, that I could do it. You would help me figure out how to do it to something I'd never done before.
I love that. So a teacher. Yeah, someone who really like inspires. Yeah, I love that. Anybody else?
I'll step out. I've worked in sickness care all my working life, and I'm excited about working in health, in wellness, and actually in really helping people to get well, because in nursing or in the medical field, it isn't about helping people to get well. And this is helping people to get well and wealth. So this is
a
win-win situation.
I love that. And so Judy, I see that in your story. I see that you're looking for women, I see people who enter the medical field because they want to make a difference for people, but you realize you're only dealing with sick people and not actually making people well. So that's pretty powerful. That's a pretty powerful story. That's cool.
I would like to share, but it's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I still going to share it because it may help somebody. So for me, this is a really personal fulfillment. I became a widow in 2009, and I was married to a doctor, a psychiatrist, but he had and I'm not kidding you, 50 diplomas of so many things. And my whole life I was taken care of. I raised my children, and it's been my fulfillment. But I wanted to do something for myself. I was like, okay, when he passed away, there were so many problems that he left. And I decided that I really wanted to do something for myself, and I never wanted to be dependent of nobody. So, because I never had work before. So it's, for me, when I get the point where I have a vision board in my office, so it's in front of me and my goals. But when this is what I want to have, I'm going to feel like, okay, I did something for myself. Because I have been a really good mom, and I have done so many other things that I want in my life. But for me, I want this because not only to help others, but that I feel like I need to feel like I can accomplish something without help of any other person. I don't know if it makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense. Okay, so guys, I'm really, really glad that you shared some of these. Sylvia, thank you for your willingness to be vulnerable and to really open up. I think it's powerful when you're willing to share your story like that. And so the last thing that we kind of want to dive into is I would love to for you guys to tell me some of those traits, and we're going to go into Facebook. I'm actually going to show you guys, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you guys based on what you guys tell me. We're going to look up groups and we're going to look up pages. So Sylvia, Judy, I've already got ideas of things that I want you guys to start searching. So Sylvia, for example, can you enable me to share my screen?
Sorry, yes.
Oh yeah, no worries. Sylvia, I see for you looking up a stay-at-home moms group where and reaching out and connecting to these women and your willingness to share that story of, hey, this is what I was. I was a stay-at-home mom, right? And now what I'm looking for is the ability to fulfill my purpose in life, but not the financial dependency on anyone else, right? So sharing that as part of your story. So what you do is you go into this group. So maybe we look at stay at home. And Sylvia, I would even get specific as, what's their age range right now, right? When was it for you what was that age range for you where you got that specific in, you know what? I think I'm ready for more. I think I'm ready for something new and different. And really going in and, so this specific group has about 7,000 members. You might take a look at it. It has 80 posts a day. That's a really active group. Some of you guys, I will just mention, some of you guys really like to engage in groups, but I would encourage you to really get just super specific about your purpose. And what I would do is I would join a group and then I would just click on the members really. And then I would just scroll through the members and just like message, right? And then Sylvia, I would tune your story to that, where you're messaging them. Are you open, right? I'm looking to work with, like-minded people. Are you open to taking a look? Then sharing your story. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was looking for more. Is that helpful for you?
Very so much. Yeah, it makes sense what you're saying and what Danielle was saying. It was like, makes a big difference when, like, I love this group because I'm learning so much, but this makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Okay. So Judy, I actually just pulled up, I just typed in nurses. And Judy, what I would do is look, this is actually a nurse memes, I guess, a group that who knew that existed, but it has 113,000 people in it. 150 posts a day. That's a pretty active group. So, you might actually like find one of these nurse groups, fine tune your story to say, I was a nurse for this many years, right? And what I wanted to do was really help people, but now what I get to actually do is I get to create the wellness, right? I was doing sick care, and now I actually get to do what I always wanted to do, right? So fine tuning your story so that it attracts nurses, right?
I want to do something else with this, and that your stories, because many of you have sent me your stories, they're very product focused.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because all of us love ASEA because what it's done for us personally, but there is more. There is absolutely more. There's a reason you've stuck around, right? Your health issue has resolved. There's a reason you've stuck around. Think about that, because Judy, I know what it did for your health, and part of your story was that. But the story I heard tonight was your passion. That is what I heard come out. And if you can convey that in your voice memo, right? This is where I was, and then I came across this incredible thing, and I thought, well, what if? And now I'm in the wellness world, and I'm helping people get well, and I'm so excited about it. And I don't know if you go on that route, it's a totally different feel, and thus you're talking at the level of the person you're looking for, right? We're not talking at the level of someone with an autoimmune issue, right? We're talking at the level of a nurse that wants to be an entrepreneur, wants another way out, doesn't know there's another vehicle. Boom, you're showing her the vehicle.
It never occurred to me that if I went to a group that I didn't have to join it first.
You do. You would have to join it, Judy.
Okay.
You'd have to join the group, but I wouldn't personally spend a whole lot of time cruising through the group. What I would do is once I have joined the group, I would just click on, it'll show like on the right-hand side, the members. I'll just click on the members and I'll start going through all of the different members, and I'll just start messaging, message, right? So I wouldn't interact too much necessarily in the group. I know that a lot of people do get a lot of benefit from interacting, but when you really get in focus mode of just messaging people.
And just to point this out, what Alyssa's talking about is the direct message, cold prospecting, direct message script.
Yeah.
So, and you don't have to say where you found the person. Like, we have that in red. I honestly would just
I don't usually do that.
Yeah, and just say, hey, I came across your profile, I'm looking for like-minded people.
Exactly.
What do I do? If not, no big deal. They say yes, boom, you send the voice memo, right? With your passion. And when you record that voice memo, I want you to hold in your mind the visual of your avatar, that ideal person you're trying to bring in. Because when you speak that, it conveys in the energy, it conveys in the words that you're saying. It's felt when someone hears the voice memo. Yeah. All right? It's very much felt. And one other question, apparently Mom has one. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to Teresa and Risa. I think if you do it like Alyssa and Danielle are just saying, you're not saying where you found them. So I don't think you're going to get thrown out of the group.
It's just, I was thinking when you message them, it will show, or when they go to you, won't it show that you're both in that same group?
Yeah, you know, I don't usually get too hung up on that, honestly.
Okay, just 'cause-
you know, the honest truth is just the same as anything else. I'm like, if I get thrown out of this group, then I'll go join another. You know,
Right,
so
because
I haven't.
yeah, I've had that issue in the past.
I haven't had it happen to me, but I think it's also like, I mean, it just depends on your like how comfortable you are with it. But honestly, I'm just like, hey, there are so many groups. Like, I'm good if I get thrown out of one. That means I'm doing my job, right? So, anyway, I don't know if that's good with you. Yeah. In any case, we have like about 5 more minutes. Any questions that might have happened? We have nothing to lose, says Buffy. Yes, right? It's like, we're using Facebook to build our business. So if we get kicked out, we're doing our job. Okay.
Well, I want to say one thing, just so that it's in the recording and we can stay for questions. But one of the things that has, when I got clear, right, and I went to a specific page and I've been very clear and I'm speaking in a certain way, what has happened is that the majority of people that write back to me say, hey, I checked out your profile. I really resonate with you. Tell me more about what you do. And so I have also been super intentional. The kind of second side to this is, now that you're clear, you've written your note, you're clear on what you're looking for, what you're all about, start speaking to that on your page. Whether it is a picture and you write a little text, right? Whatever it is, you start saying those words, because like, I think of my profile, Alyssa taught me to think of my profile as like, it's Danielle TV. I tune into Danielle's channel. Who is Danielle? What's she think about? What's she about? Right? I don't post my stuff for my current friends. The friends that like it, great. But my intention when I'm doing my stuff is so that that rando, cold prospect, comes to my page and goes, who is this lady? What's she about? Oh, I like what she's talking about. And so I speak at this level that's going to attract the person I want. If they don't no idea what I'm talking about, they're like, this lady's crazy, or what does she mean? I don't care. Self-sorted, they're gone, right? So it's like this, it's like a sieve people are going through, boom. And I'm getting like the conversations I'm having, more of my ideals are the people I'm having conversations with. So there's something very much to this, and it takes some intentionality and it takes some time, and you got to find your voice. And the more you post, the more you'll be comfortable and you'll find your voice, right? And the more you'll realize these are the things that really energize me to talk about. So it's not like, oh God, I got to do a post. It's like, oh, what do I get to talk about today? Right? So I think that the stuff you wrote down is gold, and just keep coming back to it. So I wanted to add that. And questions now, sorry to take the time.
No, I'm glad that we had talked about that. Was another thing that we were going to mention. So yeah, so it's basically two-sided, right? So if you want to attract that kind of person, you have to also show them who you are, right? And that willingness to show them is posting on your profile. So, you know, Sylvia, Judy, we kind of dove into your guys' stories a little bit more. So that might become part of what you post about. Sylvia, you might post a little bit about, hey, like I can't believe I was a stay-at-home mom for this many years. I'm so glad that I found a new, purpose after having kids. Judy, you might mention, tell us a little bit of stories of like your nursing journey, right? And like some fun stories behind that. So anyway, hopefully that is helpful for you guys. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Buffy.
Yeah, thanks. I am dipping my toe in and pulling it back, because every time I put a bunch of stuff out there, I get a lot of creepy guys, and they're messaging me, hey, beautiful. I mean, I
called Alyssa and Denny when I started doing this, and I was like, guys, what do I do? And Denny just started laughing, and she goes, Alyssa, give me the phone. Give mom the phone. And Denny was like, Danielle, just don't worry about it. Like, you can, if someone messages you, right, you can just not respond. I don't respond. I don't engage. If they're posting on your wall, you can block people. And if they're friending you, here's the key. If you turn on your page so that you allow followers, I just turned my page that. So somebody friends me, like I was waking up with 10, 12 messages, friend requests from men all over the world. And yeah. Now it looks like I have a ton of followers, because it's all these men that are friending me that I'm just ignoring. But it looks good. So someone looks at my page, they're like, oh, a lot of people follow this woman. What's she about? Like, it just helps. So I'm using it. I'm turning it and making it.
Following on. Mine's just a private, I mean, just a random person page. It's not a business page.
So is hers.
So is mine. So is mine. It's in settings. Alyssa probably can explain that because she walked me through it.
I actually I do not even remember it, so I'm sorry, it's been so long. Action block tomorrow. Maybe I'll look at it and mention it there. Yeah.
Okay, I'll catch the recording if I can't make that live. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
But basically it's just part of, doing business. My mom has a whole lot of followers as well. And so she probably gets like 10 of those messages a day. So it's just like, let it boost your ego and then move on. Right. So, hopefully it's just part of the process, but hopefully that kind of helps a little bit. So.
Okay. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Thank you.
It happens to everybody. So don't, but also feel like hey, like, all right, I still got it. All right. Okay, right. Yeah. Okay, guys, we are at the bottom of the hour. So I want to, question. Do you have a question, Becky, real quick?
Yes. So the when you come across people that you think would be good, but they don't have a friend button, all they have is a follow button, how do you engage with them?
Yeah, so some people will have just a message button, and so I'll just message them. Some people will have just a friend button, so I'll friend them. If they only have a follow button, I usually don't follow, I just move on. So that's I sift and sort kind of based on what's available there. So like I might just send them, if they only have a message, then I'll just message them the cold message. And if they have only the friend button, but there's someone who it really looks like I would love to work with, then I'll friend them and then do the like the warm market little bit messages. So yeah. Is that helpful, Becky?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, I hope that this was helpful for you. I can't wait to see how this kind of tweaks your stories and the people that you interact with. And thank you, Danielle, for giving us a beautiful art lesson as well tonight.
Hopefully that's the last one. We'll have to do that.
No, but really, Danielle has really been diving into this stuff. So I'm glad that she kind of brought it up as a topic for tonight. And I will tell you, once I got crystal clear once again on the kind of person, I changed my story a little bit. I had people messaging me right away again. So it does make a really big difference getting clear on who you're trying to work with. So hopefully that's helpful for all of you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you on the action block tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.